Welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you are new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. These attacks exploit a hidden network, a network that powers our everyday communication, a network that most people have never heard of. It's called SS7, and it's the invisible backbone of global mobile connectivity. It's what makes your phone calls and texts possible. But this vital network has a vulnerability, a flaw that hackers can exploit. A flaw that turns your phone into a window for prying eyes. With SS7, they can turn your phone, your lifeline, into their personal spy device. They can access your camera, your microphone, your location. Yet, it has also exposed us to new and evolving threats. Threats that we must be vigilant against. As we become increasingly reliant on our mobile devices, it is critical to understand the vulnerabilities that lurk in the shadows of our digital lives. Only then can we take steps to protect ourselves. Let's unveil the mystery of SS7. SS7 stands for Signaling System Number 7. It's a set of protocols, a common language that allows different phone networks to talk to each other. Think of it like air traffic control for phone calls and messages. When you make a call or send a text, SS7 is working behind the scenes, making sure your message gets delivered to the right place. Every time you travel, SS7 is hard at work. It allows your phone to connect to different networks in different countries, ensuring seamless communication wherever you go. It's a complex system, a testament to human ingenuity. But like any complex system, it has its weaknesses. Developed in the 1970s, SS7 was built for a different era, a time when cybersecurity threats were not as sophisticated as they are today. Back then, it was assumed that only trusted entities would have access to this network. But the digital landscape has changed drastically since then. Hackers, with their ever-evolving tactics, have found ways to exploit the inherent trust built into SS7. This exploitation allows them to perform a range of malicious activities, turning this critical communication infrastructure against us. The very nature of SS7, its design based on trust, is its Achilles heel. SS7 assumes that all network operators are legitimate and trustworthy. However, this trust is misplaced in today's digital landscape. Hackers can gain access to SS7 through various means, from exploiting vulnerabilities in network operators to bribing insiders. Once inside, they become invisible puppet masters, capable of manipulating the network to their advantage. The consequences are far-reaching and deeply unsettling. One of the most glaring vulnerabilities of SS7 is its lack of robust authentication mechanisms. This means that network signals can be easily spoofed, allowing attackers to impersonate legitimate users or networks. Imagine receiving a call from what appears to be your bank, only to realize later that it was a hacker using SS7 spoofing to steal your financial information. The implications are staggering. The same system that connects us, that facilitates our communication, can be turned against us, exposing our private conversations, our location, and our identities to malicious actors. With access to SS7, hackers gain a treasure trove of tools for espionage, surveillance, and more. One of the most alarming capabilities is eavesdropping, which allows them to listen in on your private conversations. By intercepting signaling messages, attackers can listen to phone calls in real time, effectively turning your phone into a listening device without your knowledge. The chilling part is that you'd be none the wiser, as there are no obvious signs of intrusion. There's no indication that someone else is listening in on your private conversations, making it nearly impossible to detect. But it doesn't stop there. The capabilities of SS7 attacks extend far beyond just eavesdropping. SS7 attacks can also pinpoint your location with frightening accuracy, tracking your every move. By exploiting the way phones communicate with cell towers, hackers can triangulate your position, even if your GPS is turned off, making it impossible to hide. This means they can track your movements, know where you are at any given time, all without you ever knowing. Imagine the implications of such power in the wrong hands. Stalkers could use this to track their victims, making it a tool for harassment and intimidation. Criminals could use it to plan robberies, knowing exactly when you're not home. Governments could use it to surveil their citizens, infringing on privacy rights and civil liberties. The possibilities are as terrifying as they are endless, with countless scenarios where this technology could be abused. And the worst part is that detecting an SS7 attack is extremely difficult, if not impossible, for the average user. Most users would never know that their phone calls are being intercepted or their location is being tracked, leaving them vulnerable. This invisibility is what makes SS7 attacks so insidious and so dangerous, posing a significant threat to personal privacy and security. Section 5. Spoofing and Denial, Sowing Chaos. Through SS7 attacks go beyond eavesdropping and tracking. They represent a multifaceted threat that can disrupt our daily lives in ways we might not even realize. Hackers can use SS7 to impersonate you, sending messages and making calls that appear to be from your number. This can lead to a cascade of problems, from personal misunderstandings to severe security breaches. This is known as spoofing, and it can have serious consequences. Imagine the confusion and mistrust it can sow among your contacts. Imagine a hacker impersonating you to send malicious messages to your contacts, potentially damaging your relationships or spreading misinformation. The ripple effects can be devastating, but the chaos doesn't end there. The implications of SS7 vulnerabilities extend far beyond personal spoofing. Hackers can also use SS7 to launch denial-of-service attacks, flooding a network with traffic, disrupting service for legitimate users. This can cripple entire networks and services. This can bring businesses to a standstill, prevent people from making emergency calls, and cause widespread chaos and confusion. The impact on critical infrastructure can be catastrophic. The methods employed in SS7 attacks are constantly evolving as hackers find new and creative ways to exploit this vulnerable protocol. They're always one step ahead, making it a continuous battle. They use sophisticated tools and techniques, often operating in the shadows, making them difficult to track and prosecute. The anonymity of the internet provides them with a cloak of invisibility. The threat is real, and the consequences are far-reaching. Every day, new victims fall prey to these attacks, highlighting the urgent need for vigilance. From individuals to corporations to governments, no one is immune to the reach of SS7 attacks. The potential for disruption is vast and indiscriminate. This underscores the urgent need for increased awareness, robust security measures, and a collective effort to address this critical vulnerability in our global communication infrastructure. Only through concerted efforts can we hope to mitigate the risks posed by SS7 attacks. Imagine for a moment the impact of a successful SS7 attack on high-profile targets like government officials, CEOs, or even celebrities. The consequences can be devastating. From financial loss to compromised national security, the ripple effects are far-reaching and often catastrophic. These attacks don't just affect individuals, they can destabilize entire organizations and even countries. So, are you at risk? Well, the unfortunate truth is, if you use a mobile phone, you could be a target. SS7 vulnerabilities don't discriminate between high-profile individuals and regular citizens. Whether you're a business owner, a student, or just someone who values their privacy, the threat is real and it's closer than you might think. But don't worry, there are practical steps you can take to protect yourself. First, always keep your software up to date. Regular updates often include security patches that can help mitigate risks. Second, consider using encrypted communication apps. These apps add an extra layer of security that can make it much harder for attackers to intercept your messages. Lastly, be cautious with sharing personal information online. The less data you expose, the harder it is for attackers to exploit. Now it's time for a call to action. Share this information with your friends and family. Awareness is the first step towards protection. Advocate for stronger security measures with your mobile service providers. And most importantly, stay vigilant. The digital world is constantly evolving, and so are the threats. By staying informed and proactive, we can all contribute to a safer, more secure digital environment.